and it's time to analyze the universal issue, which is not just plaguing the UFC, but it's also plaguing the mixed martial arts scene as a whole, including local promotions. It's the problem of weight cutting. Now, any normal person can cut weight. In fact, sometimes it's necessary for obesity, whatever. But fighters are obviously not obese. They're healthy individuals, and some of these healthy individuals are cutting more weight than their optimum weight, dehydrating themselves so they can make a certain weight division. Now, some fighters have passed out trying to make weight. That's quite a scary thing. And this is why it's such a universal issue. How long can this keep on going on for? To their credit, the UFC has done a good job of addressing the issue, bringing in earlier weigh-ins so the fighters can rehydrate themselves soon after, with more time to rehydrate. And this is okay if you're a fighter who only has to cut a little bit of weight to make a certain division. But if you're cutting a lot of weight, and I'm going to talk in pounds here because that's generally how the UFC, fronts their terminology, but I'll try my best to equate it to kilograms in Australian terms. So a 155 pounder, their natural weight, so 155 pounds is about 70.4 or something like that, kilograms, may actually weigh 180 pounds. And that might be 82 kilograms. These are approximate guesses. I don't have a calculator in front of me, but something like that, you have to cut a little bit of weight. And there was this really interesting show on YouTube, and it followed a mixed martial arts fighter, and he attempted to cut 10% of his body weight within 24 hours. He was successful, but it was hard. So that gives you an idea of the physical stress, the physical toil a fighter is putting their body under to make weight. It's risk versus reward. How much are you willing to risk your own body for to potentially get a reach advantage or stay in a division where you are the bigger fighter? Or sometimes they can be the smaller fighter, but their body type is such that they still weigh as much, if not more, than an ordinary fighter or a taller fighter in their division. Tyron Woodley, the welterweight champion, at 170. I'm honestly not sure what that would equate to in terms of kilograms. Oh, no, that's around 77 kilograms, approximate guess. And Tyron Woodley generally weighs 205 pounds, over 200. And 205 pounds is the light heavyweight division. So technically he could make weight as a light heavyweight, but he cuts about 30 pounds or so to make the welterweight division. I don't think he's ever missed weight. So sometimes it is down to professionalism. But there are some fighters who are not as professional as someone like a Woodley is. And this is a problem. Not only does it jeopardize the health of the fighter, it also jeopardizes the promotion, because if you've put in all this money to advertise a fight and the fight is called off, and we've seen it happen, it's a huge blow to the card. And you either find a replacement fight or you trust that next time it won't happen again. But generally, if a fighter does it once, they do it twice. Depends on the fighter, though. Khabib Nurmagomedov, for instance, he's a very disciplined fighter. I have a lot of respect for him, as I'm sure a lot of you do. So he is undefeated with over 20 wins, but Nurmagomedov missed weight against Tony Ferguson, and that would have been probably the best fight in the lightweight division, aside from Eddie Alvarez and Conor McGregor, where Conor McGregor became the first UFC fighter to hold 2 belts simultaneously. He got the juice. But the Tony Ferguson and Khabib fight was an extremely high-level fight, and this is not discrediting Eddie Alvarez. He is a great fighter in his own right. But Khabib Nurmagomedov and Tony Ferguson have that it factor. They have something in them. And it's beyond me that they haven't competed yet. Neither one has competed yet for the UFC belt, the UFC lightweight belt, because they are both special fighters. And Khabib missed weight, and he's also missed weight before, but he fought on that occasion, and in his last fight, the one he was meant to fight against Tony Ferguson, he had to go to hospital, get some IVs, some fluid into his body, and the fight was called off. Tony Ferguson had a bit of a hard time making weight, but he's very professional about it. So if Khabib's a professional fighter, so he is a professional fighter, but it's either something that went wrong in terms of his management of his weight, or it was just unlucky. And, you know, there's this philosophy that if a fighter misses weight, they should lose the fight. And I don't think that should be the case, because sometimes a fighter can try their hardest and they just don't make the weight. So that means you need to change. You get a warning, and then if it happens again, you pay the consequence of it. I think something needs to be done. More needs to be done, that's for sure. What exactly the solution is, I don't know. And I don't think the UFC or mixed martial arts in general quite knows yet. But it's no doubt they're trying to help the safety of the fighters, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. They put on the show. They put on the product. They're the ones risking their bodies to entertain the fans. Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, it looks like it's going to happen. I released an article on The Raw, which is a great sports publication, giving students opportunities as well as senior writers. And I wrote an article which caused a lot of controversy. And you can go check that out on The Raw. Jonathan Pertile, forgot what it was entitled, but I think it was around the start of the year. And it talked about the possibility of Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather fighting. And I got some comments where I was criticized for even suggesting that fight could happen. And I kind of look at that now and say, you were wrong. Because this fight all along was meant to happen. Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, this is a once-in-a-century fight. This is the best boxer of his generation in Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus one of the best mixed martial artists of his generation in Conor McGregor. What better to clash these two sports, these phenomenal sports athletes with each other, and see who comes out the victor. And what matters is not the win and loss. What matters is the entertainment which can be generated from this fight. Everyone knows that if it's a boxing match, Floyd Mayweather is the favourite. If it's a mixed martial arts fight, Conor McGregor is likely to destroy Floyd, because there's just so many elements of mixed martial arts you have to have a handle of. But Floyd's an expert, has been an expert and is an expert in boxing. He has been that all his life. And Conor McGregor has also originated from a kickboxing background. So this was a fight to make. And for those who didn't think that, I can understand it. Really, I can. There's a UFC division which Conor would now be holding up if he doesn't compete in the lightweight division this year. He should compete this year if, depending on when the Floyd Mayweather fight happens. But so I'm not announcing that officially the Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor fight is going to happen. But it's gaining so much momentum that it looks like an inevitability. So it will be interesting to see the promos surrounding it, the advertisements. Conor McGregor is the king of media. He really is. And Floyd Mayweather also. They both have polarizing personalities. And you combine that with great fighting ability, you have something that is marketable, profitable, and something that the fans can enjoy. Is that not what a fight is at the end of the day? Because no one wants to watch a fight they don't want to. No matter how good the fighters are. If you don't want to watch it, you don't watch it. Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, who would not pay one glimpse of attention to it? At least one, maybe even two. I'll be paying more than that, but this is a fight to make, and it looks like it's going to be made. And it was all about negotiations. What one fighter wanted and what the other wanted. There's only so much of the pie you can have, and they've had to divide the pieces. Because Floyd wanted 100 million and Conor McGregor wanted more money. His net worth is higher than 2.5 million, as Floyd Mayweather kind of joked on his social media. So this is a great fight because Conor McGregor's made more than 2.5 million, 100% in his career. That's quite a laughable figure. So Floyd Mayweather is worth more, but he's also older. Conor McGregor is in his late 20s. He has the youth, he has the reach, and it's not going to be an easy fight in the first few rounds for Floyd. Over 12 rounds, yes, but Conor with his power, you never know what can happen. But Floyd with his winning mentality and boxing ability, boxing nous, IQ in the ring, in the squared circle, should come out the victor. But it's an interesting fight, and this is why the fight is going to be made. Mark my words.